guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Monday. That's right. Back on the grind. Having a look at what is going on right now. Bitcoin is actually down 0.5%, and we are seeing a lot of the altcoins in the green today. So we're going to talk about that specifically. Was it only the Chinese altcoins, or are the other altcoins going to see sort of that trickle-down effect from Bitcoin's massive pump? Well, currently you can see right here, Bitcoin has essentially just kind of been going up and down in a very, very small range. In fact, if I zoom in right here, you can see essentially we've basically just sort of been bouncing around, closing out the 30-minute candle between 9,350 and then popping up to about 9,446. And you can see right now we're pushing back up to that level again. So we've really just been bouncing around sort of in this area. And that's what I want to talk about today. Also, there were a few other things that there are not really a lot of people mentioning that had a lot to do with also why we saw Bitcoin's price rise. I do want to talk about that because if Bitcoin does have this massive, move based on its current position, well, that could also affect the altcoins as well. So that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Also, I will be traveling, so this video is going to be super quick. Definitely stick this one out to the end. We're going to just get right to the point. That being said, today is Monday. Don't forget, we are giving away the Ledger Nano S. That'll be at the end of the video. If you missed your opportunity, you could drop a comment on any video throughout the course of the week, and you are eligible. So let's dive in and let's have a look right now at what is going on. Bitcoin dominance is 67.8%. Now, even though it is up 0.1% since I had the page loaded, it has pulled down substantially as we have seen these altcoins like Bytum 47%, Ontology 18%, Tron is up, Hypercash, Elastos, Zilliqa, Eternity, IOST. Okay, I could just keep reading these off to you, but essentially it's looking pretty good for the altcoins right now. Also, for a Monday morning, $930 million, $1.7 billion over on Tether. I will take that volume. And having a quick look over here at Coin Farm, relatively split down the middle once again. Very indecisive markets for the long and the shorts. But essentially, you can see right here, this is what's happening. We're basically sort of putting in this, you can see this morning, actually, I had this drawn. We did dip out of this sort of triangle, and now we've pumped back up. So essentially, this is what we have. We have this green triangle right here, which represents the absolute peak. But you can see that we've kind of had some short-term resistance here. So essentially, you're looking at about October 28th for the big breakout or breakdown. However, we do know that Bitcoin tends to have these big movements before, right, sooner than later. So if we do continue to pump right here, you probably will get stomped out at around this $9,612 resistance. However, I want to start with the bearish scenario, okay, just because, why not? And then we'll talk about the bullish afterwards. So I'm actually going to present both of what could potentially happen in this video just to kind of give you guys an idea of where Bitcoin could be going. Now, currently, you can see right here, we did close below the 9,684 and the 9,578. So those were both short-term resistances to get above, and you can see the main one was $9,484, which we were able to close above, but now currently we are sitting below it. So the question is, are we looking to revisit some of these lower levels? Well, if we were to go lower, okay, and I will get into reasons why in a minute, you do have this 200 daily sitting at around 8,900. Now, I do consider this to be very important support, so I don't anticipate falling too far below it for a very long time. In fact, if we do, I can imagine right here where the downwards, basically top of the wedge meets the upward support, literally right here, you're looking at around $8,500. But essentially, I would anticipate it to be a wick, just touch real quick and pull back up. And I'll show you why in just a second, because a lot of people have been talking about, the CME futures gaps, and whether or not you believe in this, whether or not you think this is actually true, or it's just a bunch of, hocus pocus, whatever you want to call it. I mean, literally every single time we've had a gap, I can show you right here super quick, we've closed it. Look, we had one here, closed it. Right here, closed it. Right here, okay, a little one right here. Was this one right here? I think that was one. That might have not been one right there, but either way, that did get closed right there, okay? So essentially, the only one that we haven't closed, the two that we haven't closed is this one all the way up here at around 11,800, and this one currently right here. Now, keep in mind, to close this, you would need to go to about $8,885, okay? Now, could we slightly wick below that? Of course, but I would anticipate there to be a massive pullback, or, not pullback, but a massive bounce if we were to go down to that level, okay? So, essentially the other thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of, and I'll tell you guys how you can trade that too. If you're interested, I'll talk about that a little bit later. Actually, I'll do that at the end of the video. But essentially right here, you can see that Bakkt is just absolutely smashing it. Look at this abysmal start that it had. And then we put in 4.8 million and 10.3 we closed on Friday. I actually thought it was more than that for some reason. But you can see right here, even just kicking off the week, we're seeing 282. I'll give this a quick refresh live right now. 308. So there is a lot more interest in Bakkt currently. Don't forget, they're also looking to offer options. So you are seeing institutional interest, right? So now let's talk about the bullish case, okay? Essentially right here, we are sitting above the 100 weekly and we are sitting above the 21 exponential. So this is very good. You can see we had a bit of a death cross right here. Then we put back in a golden cross, which does bring me to, well, our good old friend right here. But I showed you guys, if we extend these lines, in my opinion, I think this is a fake out death cross. And I do think that we're going to probably end up putting in a golden cross. I don't know the exact date, but I think Bitcoin, may come down here, kind of chill, and then, have its blast off moment, right? So now that we're talking about the bullish scenario, let me go back to this essentially. And basically how you do this is measured moves. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I don't like to use measured moves where I just basically draw it out and then just take that and place it. I prefer to use percentages, because looking at Bitcoin historically, Bitcoin respects percentages a lot more than it does actual just, full amounts. So without explaining this too much, essentially if we go from the bottom to the top right here, you're looking at about roughly a 42% increase, right? So from the bottom to the top right here, let me just zoom out and just kind of show you guys what we're looking for here. Essentially, if we were to put that in, actually, let me switch this out of the 1 hour. This is way too small of a time frame to show you guys this. Let me go to the daily. I actually have the marked right up here at around $13,307. And let me show you how that actually works. If we take it from where we are right now and go all the way up to the top, that is, because Bitcoin was sitting a little bit lower this morning, that's about a 42% pump. Now, if that's not enough, let me show you what's so crazy about that. That lines up perfectly with this wick that we had right here on June 27th and this wick that we had right here on July 10th. So that is the very bullish scenario. I am looking at about $13,300 for a massive move. Now, obviously, it's not going to happen all at once, and I do believe we could go a little bit lower and touch those levels, but that's essentially what I'm looking at. Now, if we come over here, I just want to show you one cool thing. So this was a thing that September 11th, Tor de Mystere, he put this out. Now, Biddy responded, your bold prediction made on Adam's show in early 2017 of 10K before the 2020 halving was spot on, 1.1K at the time. Give me another 2024 prediction. And he says, I believe the next rally will set your hair on fire, could go to $50,000 or $100,000 per Bitcoin. And he actually just recently responded to that, to his own tweet, basically saying, all else equal, Bitcoin only needs another 9 days like today, relatively 22% pumps to trade at 50K. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to have 9 more 22% pumps, but it is possible, and he basically says that's all it would take to get Bitcoin to 50K, right? So I just wanted to point that out, but I know what you're saying. K-Dub, the Bitcoin dominance is falling. We're below the 70.24 level. I mean, yes, we did have a massive pump. The altcoins are having some time to play right now, but keep in mind, Bitcoin has had its pullbacks in its pumps for dominance right here. You can see we had this red candle, red candle, red candle. So there were a lot of times in which Bitcoin did pull back and the altcoins did surge, which currently, as we can see right here, and you can't make this up, the altcoins surged up to that same level, the 80.47 billion. You can see this red wick right here and pulled back essentially. So we are sort of in the middle. However, we are trending upwards. So I would be looking for this apex at around November 29th, and that would be a really good day to know whether or not the altcoins are looking for that major blast off. But currently, as long as we maintain above this trend, it actually doesn't look that bad for altcoins. Yeah, short term, midterm. So yeah, sounds pretty good for that. So is Tron pumping because of the announcement of the announcement? Well, that's the thing. Tron was also sort of included in the Chinese crypto projects to the moon. You could see, as Crypto Potato pointed out, you had Bytem up 85%, Ontology 45, Neo 35 against the dollar, 27 against Bitcoin. In fact, if you look at this screenshot right here, yeah, I mean, essentially, they're all Chinese projects. Bytem Ontology, Nebulous, IOST, Neo, Qtum, GX, Hypercash. I'm not too sure about V Systems. It may be or may not. VeChain, Omisego. So there you guys go right there. Yeah, it was definitely a pump from the east. It was a pump from the east, right? So it's interesting because when Mark Zuckerberg was actually making those statements the other day, he was basically saying that China is moving very quickly in regards to this blockchain revolution and that the US could potentially fall behind. And, it kind of looks like based on this pump, well, he might have actually been right, the old Zuckerberg. So there was something else, though, I wanted to point out, and this is really interesting, and I can't believe this just totally slipped my mind, but I wanted to point out essentially when the contracts close for the CME futures, don't forget, they don't trade on weekends, so we always see some major movement on the last Friday of every month. Now, right here, I have all of actually, these aren't the Fridays, these are just the day after, so we can look at it. So just go one day behind these lines. But essentially, you can see right here, after the massive pump, we did have a bit of a pullback, and then you can see right here, we essentially started pulling down, dump towards the end of the month, dump towards the end of the month, major dump towards the end of the month, and crazy enough right here, Bitcoin was trying to dump again, but the reason that I think we had this massive pullback is because I think these guys knew on Friday that we were looking essentially to have a bounce back, because look, we hit this really key support here at around the $7,476 level, which, essentially back here was providing the floor for Bitcoin. So I just wanted to point that out too. One other reason they say, could the crypto capital CEO arrest also have affected the Bitcoin price? Well, it is linked to Bitfinex. Don't forget, they were the ones that had the $850 million worth of seized USDT, right? So, you could see right here, Stuart Hoegner, general counsel to Bitfinex, said Bitfinex is a victim of fraud, and it's making its position clear to the relevant authorities, including those in Poland and the US. So that also could have had something to do with it as well, hopes that, hey, maybe we can recover some of these lost funds. So that was something else I wanted to mention. And also just to end on some quick news today, because I do got to keep this video kind of quick today, blockchain startup Zamna has raised $5 million to automate airport security checks using blockchain and biometric technology. And how funny is that I got to get on a plane today? Would probably make it a lot quicker. In fact, it would make it up to 90% fewer documents that would needed to be checked. So they say that the aspiration is that as more passengers' identities are verified digitally over time and shared securely between parties, the airport security process will become automated and passengers will be able to travel through the airport without needing any physical documentation or repeated ID checks, right? Also, one thing is getting a little bit of controversy. So eToro has put out this really short video. I could actually play it for you super quick with sound.
Who's a Gucci boo-boo? You're a Gucci boo-boo.
So that's it. But essentially, it's getting like a lot of negative feedback because of the choice that they chose to use, Alec Baldwin. So, there's certain things potentially that, he might be associated with. So I just want to point that out. But essentially, people are like, why did you go with Alec Baldwin? So that was that situation moving forward. But guys, that is it for me. It is time to give away the Ledger Nano S. So let's do it. So we have to do a random number generator. We do have 7 videos. So 1 out of 7. Number 4. Okay, so that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's video. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, Bitcoin blast off, the reversal. Ho ho. Okay, let's check this out right here. Let me know. Oh my goodness. Wait, guys. We put out 8 videos this week. I totally forgot. Hold on. I put out 2 videos the other day. Nope. We got to redo this. Okay, Monday, Tuesday. Nope, we got to be fair here. Wow, I almost messed up. Okay, Bitcoin extreme volatility. I just got to be fair, guys. We put out 8 videos last week, all right? So,
red level, the red.
All right, here we go. Bitcoin extreme volatility. All right, now let's put this one in to the random comment picker. Let's see how many comments we got here. 627 unique comments. All right, drum roll please for the Ledger Nano S. Could this be a big head and shoulders pattern signaling to the downside? Actually, yeah, Peter Schiff was talking about that. Remember we had that sort of Quasimodo overlay that we put on top of it. So yeah, I mean, turned out it wasn't. So congratulations, Terry McGinnis, Wayne. No, you are the winner of the Ledger Nano S. All you got to do is, just go to my official about section, or you could go to the official Telegram as well. But obviously, guys, friendly reminder, I will be at World CryptoCon, so it is going to be a little bit difficult to put out videos, okay? So essentially, I know what you're asking. How do you trade this? All right, well, currently right now, look for those breakouts. If we are going to go down and touch the lower level, you would probably want to put in, and this is not financial advice, a trade slightly above it. So if you're looking at around 885, you could put something around 8916, 828 or something with a stop loss probably somewhere below here, because this would be, but it's all a matter of what you're comfortable with losing. Obviously, don't risk more than you're willing to lose, right? So that's basically the situation. Would I be shorting this right now? I mean, Bitcoin has more bullish momentum, in my opinion, than it does bearish momentum right now, but we might need to touch some of those levels. So if you want to short, go ahead. I would be more comfortable waiting for a pullback, find that sort of support, and then put in the long. That's just my opinion, guys. You do what you want, or just hodl. That always works. So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. I'm going to try to get as many videos out as possible. Maybe if I run into some people down in Vegas, I'll see if I can get them on the show. Maybe that could become